Greetings, fellow football managers, and welcome to 1920s Tactics. No, I'm kidding. You probably clicked on this video via a thumbnail, and on that thumbnail was an image of Florian Wirtz. Wirtz signing for Liverpool Football Club, the current English champions. Thank you very much. On the background of this image is a tactics board with a formation that looks a little bit like this one. Now, this is not an advanced concept, and a lot of you who are already experts in Football Manager probably kind of know how to do this sort of thing that I'm going to go into. But I've looked at a lot of Football Manager Reddit and that kind of thing, and people don't yet have the best sort of idea of how to convert a standard formation into what looks like either a build-up formation, a possession formation, or an attacking formation. One of those terms are probably more applicable than the other one when it comes to the Florian Wirtz picture, or at least the tactics board in the background of him signing that juicy little contract. For existing subscribers, I need to apologize. I don't create very often. I'm sure you understand that everybody's waiting for FM26 and FM24 is kind of pressed out at the moment. But this video, I hope, will help you no matter what version of Football Manager you're actually playing. Let me get that out of the way real quickly. Okay, so this formation looks a little bit like a WM formation, which was back in the day a long time ago, when teams actually set up like this and football was more like a basketball match of the ball going forward and the ball going back, because the attackers would basically outnumber the defenders in a sense. If you just overlay these two defensive formations and attacking formations over each other, you can kind of see what's going to happen. What I'm trying to say here is in modern football, nobody lines up like this. But as we see in that Florian Wirtz picture, it is possible that a team like Liverpool, again a highly successful football team, wants to actually play like this when in possession. And obviously we know that Pep Guardiola also plays in a kind of similar way. A few differences probably, with the back area looking a little bit like this, and the forward area probably looking a little bit like this, with Erling Haaland a little bit isolated, then a bunch of guys trying to feed him in different ways. To be honest, this is nothing really revolutionary, it's just a slightly different idea. But I just wanted to talk about how we might actually get to the idea on that tactics board in a few different ways. Now, obviously, we're not going to line a team up like this, but who are the players, let's say in Liverpool, which you would want in these kind of positions? Let's just throw the players in there, because I think that'll actually help clarify things a little bit. Let's get Mohamed Salah in there. Obviously, he's going to be a key player for Liverpool. He's going to be coming off the right, so he's probably going to end up in this kind of position in front of goal. Now, as you can see, I've got guys like Florian Wirtz, Milos Kerkez in this team. I think I have the other chap as well, Jeremy Frimpong, that's his name, formerly of Manchester City, of course. So I've done a little bit of editing here. I've brought in Liverpool's confirmed signings and I've removed their confirmed outgoings. Aside from Kelleher, obviously Mamadashvili is coming in, so it's just a goalkeeper. We don't need him for this video. But let's get a guy like Frimpong in there. For Leverkusen, he played as a wing-back, so he's probably going to be attacking in this area and letting Salah come a little bit more central. So as you can see, the team is taking shape a little bit. Supposedly, Florian Wirtz was told by Arne Slot that he's going to be central to the plans, so he's probably going to be there. Now, Liverpool are rumored to be getting rid of Darwin Núñez with names like Gyökeres, Alexander Isak. Basically, every Swedish striker in the world is being linked with Liverpool right now, so let's just put Núñez in there. He's not out yet, and let's replace him with Gyökeres, Isak, whoever it is that might be coming in. If Liverpool play with a standard number 9, this is probably going to be the number 9 in a number 9 area, supported by Mo Salah. Then we've got a winger like Diaz, maybe. Now that's the big maybe in this formation, obviously. Then we might have the other guys. Who are the other guys? Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister. We should have a centre-back. I haven't gotten rid of Kwanzaa, but again, a centre-back is a centre-back is a centre-back. So we have no worries there. And then we have somebody like Kerkez. So this helps a little bit in identifying what this team is actually going to look like. So if we pull them back into standard formations, we're going to give him an inverted wingback defend. That's the way he's going to get up into this position. So Here's how we do it. This guy might be a ball-playing defender because that's what he is in real life. This guy might be a sweeper-keeper support. So what I actually want to do is also make this playable in FM4U. So this one might be a wingback in attack, most likely. Could also be a complete wingback to get this kind of role. McAllister and Gravenberch are going to be two sort of pivot midfielders. You probably don't want them in a DM support like this. This guy will probably be DM support, and this guy might be, let's say, deep line playmaker defense, something like that. So when Kirkes comes in, McAllister is the middle player of that back five. Now, the 5-and-5 formation was also something that was used by Rafa Benitez. So again, this is nothing new. It comes back every single generation in a slightly different form. Between 2010 and 2020, it was Pep Guardiola who came in with the 2 here, 3 here, or rather the 3 here, 2 here, and then the 5 up top in a line of 5 or something like that, a 4 and a 1. And now off this side, we have this kind of formation. Very, very easy. Obviously, this guy's going to be in support. To get inside, he would be inverted forward attack. You'd probably have this guy as an AF or maybe a complete forward support. And to maintain the width and not get too advanced, this would be a winger support. So voila, we have the formation. Now, will this work in Football Manager? Absolutely. It'll create the same kind of shape as we were just looking at. It'll also be fairly decent because you've got this defensive unit with Gravenberch traveling a little bit in this direction there and covering up for the Frimpong runs. If you want, you can probably change this to a ball-winning midfielder support as well. That would not hurt anything at all. But this kind of formation will do very, very well in FM. You could obviously change this to a advanced forward attack as well, whatever you want to do. In fact, that's probably it, isn't it? In that diagram, the left-sided forward was a little bit more advanced. So yeah, this could be an AFA, a CFA. If it's Isaac or someone like that, it would be a CFA. If it was Gyökeres, it would probably be something like an advanced forward attack or even a pressing forward attack. These players are basically the same kind of thing going forward. So there you have it from a 4-2-3-1. Look at this. We've arrived in our defensive formation, starting up with that attack formation. So this is how you would reach that attacking shape from a defensive 4-2-3-1. The normal formation terminology that we use is actually a defensive formation in Football Manager. In real life football, sometimes it can really vary. A manager will say, oh, we're actually playing a 4-4-2, but it looks like a 4-2-3-1 or it looks like a 4-3-3. You never know what they're talking about sometimes, which phase they're really talking about. Generally, though, what we are talking about as a 4-4-2, let's say, is your defensive formation. And then the roles and duties are going to define the attacking shape or the build-up shape and stuff like that. Because again, build-up, Frimpong is not going to be hanging around here in build-up. You could even make him something like a complete wing-back attack to make sure he gets all the way up the flank. If you want him involved in build-up, you would have him as, let's say, a complete wing-back support, something to that effect. Let's just have him there for now. Then he will actually stay back a bit longer, get involved, and when the ball is up there, he would get up in support. Support, that word is cool and key. So, this is how we get to the formation from a 4-2-3-1. Job done. Let's do something else. Obviously, the names get a bit messed up now, so let's change them around a little bit so it looks fairly decent. Okay. And that one there. Whoop. Let's go. Okay. So, obviously, we want to change the shape a little bit. Since we're sticking with Liverpool, let's make it a classic Liverpool 4-3-3. What do I mean by classic Liverpool 4-3-3? That would be a Jurgen Klopp Liverpool 4-3-3. Now, if you look at this formation right now as it is, what does it look like? Well, let's change it a little bit. Let's get Gakpo in for Nunez. And let's change Diaz out. We need somebody for Diaz. Let's go for Jones. Okay, what does this look like? That's right. This looks like Van Dijk and Matip, for example. This looks like a Wijnaldum, a Fabinho, a Henderson. This looks like Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Firmino. This looks like a Mane, and the Salah in interchange positions. So let's do that. This guy was a wing-back attack or something to that effect. Same thing on this side. If you want to go for the Alexander-Arnold kind of thing, you go for a complete wing-back attack. So now these two guys will both maraud up the flanks and get into those kind of positions. Maybe let's make it a wing-back attack, something like that. Or even a full-back attack could be good to not get as far up the pitch. If you're a bit wary about having these guys in attack duty, you can put it like that. That means also they won't get all the way up here, but they'll be happy to work in this kind of area. So maybe that's the actual duty we want. Now, we've got our back line sorted out. These guys are going to be here and here. So I don't have a problem with this at all. We could probably make this guy a deep-lying playmaker, so he gets a tiny bit further up to join up with these two lads. We could make this guy something like a carrilero to cover up on this side, and then another carrilero to cover up on the other side, or something like a box-to-box. That would work as well. So what are we doing up here? Obviously, these two guys are going to be inside players, so we could have an inside forward attack, and we could say have an inside winger or inverted winger attack. And this guy is the Firmino. So you could have something like a false nine support. You could have a deep lying forward support. You could have even a pressing forward support, although he probably won't give as many good passes, but he'll be really good on the defensive side of things, pressing from the front. A striker with good work rate, you could do that. You could be cool and do a trequartista as well, but he might be a little bit higher than the others just by virtue of the attack duty. So lots of options. I'll just go for the classic false nine. And look at what we've done. We've created that same shape from a 4-3-3 classic. Cool, right? Or as Football Manager calls it, a 4-3-3 DM wide. Obviously, I think this guy could be the box-to-box and this guy carrilero to match that picture exactly, because the right-hand side midfielder was a little bit further aside. This guy could be anything. He could be an anchorman, whatever you want. Okay, let's go for something completely different. Let's reset again. Shall we do a 3-4-3? Let's do a 3-4-3. I like a 3-4-3. Let's get another center back in there. Let's bring Kwanzaa in there. Then we've probably got two midfielders. Let's make those two guys the midfielders. Who do we want up here? Let's just bring Frimpong in there, and let's get Kirkes in there as well. So we just need to sort out this front unit at the moment. So let's just bring these guys back to start with and create that 3-4-3. Bang and bang. So how do you get a center back going forward? Obviously a libero. You can get him going way up forward with support, or defend duty to just get him up into the DM line. So let's make the two DMs. One of them defend, one of them support. Fine. I like that. Let's not have all of them in the same duty because that gets a little bit restrictive. And now we've got the wingbacks. One of them like that. Let's make him a complete wingback actually. And let's make this guy a wingback. Now we have that kind of setup. This looks actually really good and quite functional. You just need to worry about these areas out here, obviously. If your wingbacks get stuck up the pitch and then you get attacked wide, obviously you're a little bit vulnerable to transitions. But c'est la vie. So this looks like a 3-4-3. You could also have another option of a 3-4-3, the Ruben Amorim style 3-4-3, which looks a little bit like this. Again, it does involve a number 9 and then two number 10s. So the number 10s generally will drop off a little bit like this, although you could have one number 10 going up and joining the attack, the other guy getting in the middle. So something like this combination could work. You could also have him as a trequartista or the E word, which I apparently don't know how to pronounce, so fair enough. I'm never going to get that one right. Something like this could absolutely work, but to be fair, let's do something like this. Attacking midfielder attack is a really popular duty in Football Manager as well, because it really lets the player express themselves as well as they can. So this is how you get there with a 3-4-3. Obviously, what will happen is Salah will get up top, Wirtz will hang out here, Kirkes will come up there, Frimpong gets up there, and then you have Kwanzaa get up there, and le voila. You have that exact same formation in attack. Job done. Here's the big question now. What do I think Liverpool are actually going to do in real life? Honestly, I have no clue. I think this is what the backline is going to look like, or at least the back five, including goalkeeper. It'll probably look like something like this. Alisson might even be a sweeper keeper attack in real life. Van Dijk obviously will be a ball-playing defender. He's like a playmaker from the back. He's a quarterback in a sense. Kirkes, I want to say, will have the freedom to kind of go when he can go, whereas Frimpong will be really just going up the pitch as much as he can. Now, in my opinion, obviously this is not going to be the midfield. I think Szoboszlai will play, and I think Gravenberch will be there as well. So this, in my opinion, is going to be the Liverpool midfield, but I think it might look a little bit like this, and that's going to be your 3 in midfield. So, you know what, Kerkez, let's get you there. Fullback attack might be a little bit better. Okay. So, this guy is going to be I would say a deep lying playmaker. D. Gravenberch might be a defensive midfielder support to get up a little bit in the really late stage. And then I want to say Szoboszlai is going to be a box-to-box midfielder kind of thing, where he will go up and support in the really late stages of an attack, and generally have the freedom to do that. He might even be, I hate saying this, with a guy as talented as him, but this kind of role, this could actually be what he does. To be fair, he's Liverpool's #1 defender at the moment. No shade on Virgil van Dijk, obviously, but Szoboszlai is just everywhere pressing. So that could be it. And then the front 3. What on earth are they going to do there? I think it'll be something like this. This is kind of the formation that Liverpool are going to go for. So will they even buy a number 9? I don't know. To be honest, I think this is going to kind of be one formation that Liverpool play. This kind of setup where they actually have a number 9. They have Salah coming in this kind of role. This guy might be coming in a little bit off the left or be a number 9. So this could be it. This could be like a strikerless sort of system, which Liverpool play, with these guys being a fluid front 3. And essentially, it's this kind of thing. In my opinion, this is going to be one formation that they could play. This one could be another formation that they actually play with a number 9, a recognized number 9, and then Wirtz in the middle there, and 2 solid midfielders back there. These are probably going to be the options I think they'll go with, but this is also kind of cool. And to be honest, if they actually do get rid of Nunez and Jota is always injured, this guy could be here, this guy could be here. They could go here and change up the players. Using your squad to fill up those kind of holes is always a good idea. Good. Guys, thanks a lot. Again, apologies for my very sporadic uploading, but I'm sure you know what it is. I know most of the FM content space must be going stir crazy without having the usual annual update, but there you go. When FM26 comes out, I will get on it. And in the meantime, I might do a couple of other things as well. But I hope you're having a great week and a great weekend. Catch you in the next one.